Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. As you know, I'm a divorce attorney practicing divorce law in the Bay Area, California. Today, I have Dr. Olga Stevko, and she has created unique, powerful methodology that allows her to identify, transform unconscious programs which are formed as a result of stressful life events, divorce, trauma, and including trauma passed down generationally. These programs influence how people perceive themselves, others, and the world around them, and affect the nervous system responses that affect the body and mind. And divorce does that, as you may know. This phenomenon creates a wide variety of psychological, mental, physical, and emotional conditions, from insomnia, anxiety, health issue, premature aging, and people struggle with communication as a result of it. Transforming unconscious programs will change how the nervous system reacts to everything that triggers fight, flight, freeze responses, and how people look, think, feel, react, and behave. This methodology is extraordinarily effective and produces fast, permanent, and life-changing results. I have had several sessions with Dr. Olga, and I can go into many details, but today I would like to have Dr. Olga speak more. It did change the problem to the point where I cannot even remember the problem because it's gone. It's like when a leg hurts and I cannot remember that it used to hurt, but it's more emotional well-being. And I can say proudly and glad to have you, Dr. Olga, here with us today. Say hi.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for having me.
I would like to have a topic today to discuss that affects a lot of my clients. And the reason I ask you is because this topic is very important for people who go through divorce. Resilience. What is resilience, Dr. Olga?
Resilience is an ability to cope with and to kind of bounce from trauma, extremely stressful life events, kind of traumatic experiences, and harshness, and it's what resilience is. And also, I would like to mention I resonate with people who are going through divorce because I experienced my parents' divorce. And it was so painful for my parents, for me and my sisters. And I am just curious, Diana, what kind of emotional patterns and something in common, how people deal with divorce, you observed among your clients, because you have different clients. Some just do some paperwork, prenuptial agreement, and some are going through divorce. And for clients who are going through divorce.
For prenuptial clients, I didn't observe a lot of emotional patterns other than being happy and try to overlook the what if it's not going to work out. And that's where I feel my job is, to be the bad news. What if your spouse finds another spouse and cheats on you, and you have a small child and disabled, and then I create a disastrous scenario where they start thinking and agreeing with the proposed changes. Now, when I have divorcing clients, it's going to be hard to say they have a certain emotional state like anger, grief, denial. I think if I could summarize it into 5 different levels, it would be all stages of grief. I can see clients at the beginning where they say, actually, I think we can be together, while their spouse already filed for restraining order, kicked them out of the house. And they're like, but I think we can work it out. So it has been, difficult to, well, it's not difficult. I just tell them, look, based on my experience, only maybe 2 people in 15 years got back together, and 1 pair came back in a year and they still want to. I mean, when someone contacts a lawyer, I'm the in stop. Usually people don't get together after that.
Thank you. And what you mentioned is people experience anger, right?
Yes.
And also you mentioned denial and sadness or
Rarely I have people who are at the stage of acceptance, but I see that they're going through all stages of grief, anger, resistance, denial, silence, where they retreat and don't want to deal with it, and then maybe at the end, acceptance.
thank you. It's what I remember. It was so many years ago, and I still remember observing my parents going through all of that, what you mentioned.
Yes. And the question I have for you when we talk about resilience, what are some signs and symptoms of having low resilience in your experience when you deal with divorcing clients?
It's a very good question. And in Cleveland Clinic, they observe the signs and symptoms for people who are going through divorce are fear, anxiety, insomnia, and it's hard to cope for people often, especially for people with low resilience, and they start to drink or use, for example, drugs or use food to make themselves comfortable. And also, they notice that people might withdraw from social situations and kind of separate themselves, like more preferring being alone with other people.
And aside from the obvious, when they're going through divorce as a cause for low resilience, is there anything else that causes low resilience?
Thank you. And also, I would like to add what I said. Also, they noticed that people become irritable, angry, and kind of easier for them, very emotional, for some of them to cry. And what causes low resilience, there can be a lot of factors. For example, experiencing trauma or very stressful life situations during childhood. And also, trauma can pass genetically. As now there is a scientific evidence trauma can pass as transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. And they are not really memories from your ancestors, only like kind of a coded information in DNA of certain imprints and what was experienced during these imprints. They're like imprints or DNA codes for instincts, very similar. I call both unconscious programs. And genes can express at certain points of life when certain things in environment or people that remind what happened even genetically. For example, when people were abandoned or attacked or certain things, betrayal, for example, so certain things were going on and genes can express for similar experiences and create very strong emotions like grief, sadness, anger, that even can come from your ancestors, what they experienced. And also, what caused it, it's what is happening, low resilience, what is happening in your environment and more likely for longer periods of time. For example, if there are constant certain stressful work situations, people feel under big pressure. And also some people that can trigger stress reactions. Also, when people have no support or minimum support from family members, from friends going through some stressful situations. And also what I observed, that perception of self, other people, and the world around, and perception is can be formed as a result of trauma, and especially of yourself when people feel low self-esteem. It will create a lot of stress pretty much every day and can lead to low resilience. And also kind of pessimistic, negative view of the world. The world is not safe and it's all unconscious, or some people are not safe. And what I observe else is a common pattern for people with low resilience. Interestingly enough, they somehow do not learn from those stressful life events and trauma. They do not learn and repeat the same patterns.
I see that a lot in my clients where they got out of very, very abusive marriage where he was beating her so bad. And then a month later, that same client comes in and says, I want a second divorce from a second husband who did the same thing. And that's probably the pattern we're talking about.
Yes, Diana, and people do that because it's not their conscious choice or decision. Because trauma and stressful life events create certain unconscious programs that pass even genetically, and also unconscious patterns and unconscious traits for people. And as a result of that, because they have all of that, they unconsciously attract the same people, the same scenarios. And no matter what, how much they try to do not do that, they still continue attracted. And they will stop attracting them if they will work on this unconscious programs and patterns. And also, what I observed, some causes of low resilience, and there will be some unconscious patterns of people who have low resilience. They are lower emotional intelligence and low social intelligence. In this case, they cannot figure out people themselves, why they or other people feel certain way, and how to adapt to certain social situations, how to react, what to say, what not to say in social situations. And that can cause a lot of stress for people and lead to have lower resilience. Does it make sense?
Yes, and I can imagine that people who are watching us are wondering, well, how do I know I have low self-resilience? I'm going through divorce, I feel low self-esteem, I'm drinking a little bit too much, but not a big deal. You know, I attracted wife number 2, same type of wife I had before. So is those are the signs of repetition and being stuck in what you described?
Yes, it's a feeling of being stuck, and also often people feel like victims, just waiting for this painful event to pass and taking some actions, but only not focusing completely to solving this problem, to take action. And also, as I mentioned before, when people for more than 2 weeks, they feel anxiety and they're experiencing insomnia, and so feeling angry, irritated, all of that, they are signs of low resilience.
And how to become more resilient?
There are different things what you can do to become more resilient, and the most important is to work on resolving genetic womb and childhood trauma, to identify and resolve, to work on the unconscious programs that created this. And because when you do this, the results will be permanent. Like you mentioned, you forgot that you had some issues because your nervous systems does not respond to the same triggers, people, situations, the world with the same reactions: freeze, flight, and fight.
Well, in your practice, have you had people who are going through divorce and you were able to help to become more resilient? And if so, can you give a couple examples?
Yes, Diana, and let me first finish what you asked me, what else people can do. Is it okay?
Yes.
Because working on the unconscious programs and patterns, it will permanently and fast create big changes in all of that. Even will build up like higher resilience, improve resilience.
And can they work on themselves by themselves, or is that something they will do with a therapist? How to resolve the
Of course, people can work with some therapists and their different approach. What I do, I created this methodology, and people cannot do by themselves. Like during sessions, I will do this work to create this fast permanent change. And with this work, not only you can improve resilience, and also to work on this experience of feeling anger and grief and sadness and anxiety and fear, it's possible to significantly decrease it and also completely resolve this. And as a result, all will change. People's perception of themselves and other people, the world, and situations. And as a result, people's reactions to many things.
I can testify to that because after several sessions, after even a couple sessions, I already noticed the difference.
Thank you. And also, what people can do, it's very important to understand that this event, and it's regarding to divorce, and it can be also applied to any stressful event, life event, that this is not permanent. This is temporarily, because when people think this way, already it might shift how they think about what they're going through. Because when they are in this stuck situation, they do not see outside of the situation.
I just wanted to say, how does fish know that the fish is in aquarium versus in the ocean? They're stuck in their water. They don't know anything different.
That's right. And I would like to add to that, when people are relieving trauma, even when genes express genetic trauma and or childhood, and also some people who are relieving PTSD symptoms, why they feel like such strong symptoms, anxiety, panic attack, fear, or all of that, because they are associated in this experience. What does it mean, associated? They are not like from these memories of this experience and looking at yourself. They are becoming themselves in this experiences, and that's why feeling such strong emotions and feelings.
They're basically enmeshed with the way they think, so they cannot detach.
Or everything, how they think, how they feel, how they react, all of that. And when you work on trauma and resolve trauma, and traumas can be multiple, either genetic, womb or childhood, what happened? People become dissociated from these traumatic experiences, and as a result, when they think or remember certain memories, they are not associated anymore. They're kind of, even unconsciously, becoming as an observer, and that's why it's natural for them to experience these memories or to think about these memories. Does make sense?
So I'm thinking now, well, maybe the reason I became a lawyer is because I felt exposed to 5 divorces of my parents as a child, as a teenager. They're still together. And so I can't relate to that drama, and I don't know anything different. So maybe that's generational trauma.
Oh yes, Diana, I observed a lot of that, and I believe in this, that people choose their professions and what they do mostly unconsciously, unless your parents decided for you, like in some countries, because as a result of what was happening, either genetically or during your childhood, observing significant others, experiencing yourself, it can be what I noticed, because I had a lot of clients who are lawyers. It's a kind of an unconscious need to protect people around you, to get
Yes.
justice.
Yes, it's on autopilot. Absolutely.
That's right. And it can be as a result of this trauma, what your ancestors or you experience, a strong unconscious need to do something.
But if we were to resolve my trauma, then maybe I wouldn't be a lawyer.
Actually, there are some good traits and patterns, like very helpful, what people create, your ancestors and or you as a result of trauma, if it's something like on a higher level to help people in certain way. Actually, it can even you resolve trauma and transform unconscious programs, but that can stay in order what to do, how to help people.
And thank you so much for sharing. To my next question.
Actually, I'm so sorry, Dina, I did not answer, because what I'm going to show can be already helpful for people who are watching this video. And like again, in my practice, I don't provide techniques. I learned over the years so powerful techniques. For me, I will be working on the root cause of what people are experiencing, emotionally, mentally, physically, and working on the programs and patterns that created it. I would like to talk more about what will be helpful for people. Is it okay?
Yes, I would imagine people just listening to this and say, well, give me an example. How would it look like? Did you have a client who was going through divorce and was suffering and now they're happy?
Yes, I will. Later, because you asked me about what will be helpful, what kind of things people can do. Already I mentioned whatever is going on, think about it's temporary. Also, it's very important to create a language kind of that you are passing through this event. You're not stuck in this event, you are passing through. Also, what you can do, it's kind of see a bigger picture and to dissociate yourself from this experience. And you can do it by doing a visualization, by imagining as if you are becoming, for example, like an eagle. And eagle can fly like very high and even float and to look what's going on in the ground. Even they can see very small things. It's remarkable what they can do. And imagine as if you are metaphorically becoming that eagle and looking at this situation, what you're going through from above. In this case, you dissociate yourself. You're not anymore kind of associated in that experience stuck, but you are dissociated. You are observing yourself in that experience. And when you do so, and you can do it multiple times, you will get better kind of perspectives of what's going on, more kind of information, more messages, and you might feel, I'm not saying it will resolve how you feel, but you're going to feel better already about this experience. Also, what you can do, I will give you like a briefer version of a technique that I created. It calls instant relax technique. You can do it in seconds, and I will give a briefer version. When you feel certain strong emotions and or even somatic feelings, it's very important. Take some few seconds. It's very important. First of all, try to relax your face, because stress starts with your face, like it will be constriction around your eyes, in your jaw, even in your neck, and in muscles in your face. And just try to relax your face. And after, it's very important, look up. And for some people, it will be hard to look even up for some, even several seconds. It's a tendency for them to look down. Looking down, bring up more feeling these negative feelings. And look up, continue looking up. And think of one or two words that are comforting for you. For example, peaceful and calm, or everything will be fine. I will be okay, or whatever words that create a sense of comfort. And still looking up, say these words aloud or in silent, and take a deep breath in and exhale, and still looking up, and do it 2 more times, 2 deep breaths in and out. And if you need, you can repeat all of these steps.
In your practice, have you helped people who are going through divorce, and if so, how?
Yes, I helped a lot of people who were going through divorce, and also I helped a lot of people who had low resilience. And as a result, they had one issue or multiple issues that I mentioned before. And having a good resilience, this information came from Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic. It's very important for your mental, emotional, and physical health, for well-being, for even for your success, to navigate through some stressful life events and to cope with that well. And I will give you one example. I remember one client was going through divorce, and unfortunately also his dog died during this event. And for him, it was too much. And what he described, like he was barely function at his work, and he had his own business, and it was hard to do for him even simple things in everyday work life, because it became too much for him. And he had, I remember, anxiety, he had insomnia, and even he was admitted once to an emergency room because he started to have panic attacks. And he thought he was having a heart attack. The symptoms were so strong. And he did some sessions, and as a result, he didn't have panic attacks anymore. His anxiety decreased significantly, and he didn't experience insomnia anymore. And he started to have much more energy, and it was easier for him to cope with things at work and with things, whatever he needed to deal going through his divorce.
That's a dream. I actually have a client who just told me today having panic attacks.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. And it happened fast. What I do, people don't need many sessions. You can create a result right away. Certain issues are multi-causal, and more than one session requires. Like some issues are multi-causal, like insomnia, for example, or substance abuse, or certain type of eating issues. And I remember another case now. I had a client, and after 5 years after his divorce, he still was so angry, resentful, and irritated when he saw his wife or talked to her on the phone. And he needed to do that because they had children. And I don't remember how does it call. They had divided time with their children, and he needed to pick up his children from her house. And every time he was so triggered, so angry, irritated. And even after, it did not stop. It did not.
Oh gosh, I have a client like that who's so triggered to see her in court because she was unfaithful and they just communicate over text. It's impossible. He's very irritated.
And it can be triggered, this kind of anger, even when people talk about people that can remind, for example, somebody, his wife. And as a result, he had some even health issues, started to have symptoms like high blood pressure, hypertension, and even heart symptoms like very rapid heartbeat, even at night, and also kind of feeling hot. His face turned red often when he experienced anger. And I helped him to completely overcome anger. He felt completely neutral.
Wow.
His ex-wife and dealing with her, because it's for anger, it works so fast. I helped many people. Some going through divorce, some they didn't go through divorce, but they had anger because of different reasons.
And are you able to do these sessions only in person, or Zoom is possible too?
Or mostly I do my sessions on Zoom. The results are the same because I need to see the person. It needs to be a video. And how we do this work, the unconscious programs and patterns that create the issues, it will be people are experiencing them in any possible way. They can create even how people look, because these unconscious programs and patterns will create certain expression of face, certain constriction in muscles in different parts. They call it neuromuscular locks, and in body.
And in the voice.
Yes. Not only in body, even in posture, even in breathing, even in voice. And why it can affect voice? Because similar muscles that take part in voice production and speech, in breathing, they create the same muscles involved in speech and voice production. And that's why when there are certain neuromuscular locks in these muscles, it can affect voice dramatically. It can produce, for some people, high pitch or very low volume in voice, kind of weak voice, kind of low talkers.
Actually, when I was married to my first husband, I noticed I had a very high-pitched voice. And in hindsight, I repressed a lot of my emotions to fit to the situation. And now I don't have that issue.
Because we did this work, even we did not work directly on your voice, only working on the same programs that created some emotional and or physical issues. They doing that, the voice can be improved automatically. Why? Because the same groups of the root cause memories that created what we are working on different issues could create the issues with voice. And I observe all of that, the face and also posture.
My posture changed since our first meeting.
Because what we worked resolved neuromuscular locks in some muscles in your neck and like around spinal column. And I had multiple clients. Even one session was enough to resolve their posture issue. They had all their lives. And they did so many things, exercises, tried to be straight, and nothing worked permanently.
Also, actually, yes. You didn't, maybe you don't know or remember, I was referred to you by another family lawyer.
Yes.
And I met her in the hallway, and she said, Diana, so many things changed in my life. You gotta meet Dr. Olga.
Thank you. I remember
Yeah.
her, and her entire life shifted everything in many aspects. And also, I would assess the quality of voice. I would assess verbal and non-verbal communication patterns. And for verbal, I will listen carefully for certain verbal patterns that are created as a result of certain unconscious programs caused there.
So when you meet a client and you have an interview, you would be able to tell the client what, based on their voice, the pattern is?
Yes, and not only that, I will ask my clients to draw a drawing thinking about this issue mechanically without thinking about what to draw. Better to use colored pencils. And pretty much the unconscious mind expresses a lot of unconscious information, patterns, and even this relate to unconscious programs about this issue. And by observing what I mentioned, their face, posture, listening to the voice, verbal, non-verbal patterns, and their drawing, I can tell a lot of the person. Not only about that issue, even how people are, the introverts, extroverts, ambiverts, how they're around people, what kind of relationships they can create, because it can be related to inability to say no, low self-esteem, low self-worth, and many other issues. And I would identify, as a result of all of this assessment, what unconscious program or programs to work on. And after I will guide my client through the process I created, and the unconscious mind will be doing most of that work. And after this process, pretty much this unconscious program will be transformed, and what this unconscious program created in any possible way, mentally, emotionally, physically, can be improved or resolve these issues. Because like I mentioned before, some issues are multi-causal and they're caused by more than one unconscious programs.
And where can someone find you? I know you, I'm just going to say it. drolga.com, drolga.com.
And I have the information there and a lot of different videos, I was invited to some podcasts to talk about my methodology, and I did some video webinars with my clients explaining more about unconscious patterns and programs, and they were sharing like remarkable changes and transformations in their lives, and it's on video, and also some other information. I would like to mention what I noticed often, most of the time, even I do not work on that, as a result of this work, people reverse age significantly, like all deep wrinkles are gone, eye bags, dark circles, and also they can pretty much slow the aging, because this unconscious program that create issues, they create constant stress responses. And in the field of medicine, psychoneuroimmunology, they show that stress will affect your immune system and your endocrine system, and my theory, all systems, and can create even health issues and symptoms and even faster aging. And when you do this work, it can be reversed. And I have even one video when my client reversed his biological age in 3 months, and he shares it. And he looks and feels like up to 20 years younger, and his cognition, memory, everything, strength, agility, energy is like for a younger person. And his medical doctor couldn't believe. He told it's impossible what he saw in his blood test. Marks for inflammations were gone and other things. And he used to have heart issues.
I remember you were telling me about the one client who had some medical issue that no doctor could make go away. I think it was insomnia. She had this issue for years, decades. After a few sessions, this was gone.
Yes, and not only that, Diana, because I studied medicine, and in medical school, certain conditions, what we study, they are not curable, treatable, and for me, it was so fascinating that a result of this work, people heal themselves from health conditions that medicine cannot like really cure. Like some autoimmune diseases completely were gone. And even blood work showed no antibodies people have anymore.
That's incredible.
And some other health conditions.
So if someone watches this video and it's like, I'm ready to go, can I schedule a meeting? How would that be possible on the website, to call you, email you? What's the best way to reach you?
the best is to contact me through my website, and I have like different pages for one-on-one sessions. I do small groups, only 6 people on Zoom, and the results are the same. Just contact me through these pages. There is a form, and I will email you back.
Well, thank you, Olga, so much for explaining your practice. And a lot of my clients are, they're in need of any support they can get. I even wrote a book. I'm just going to show whoever doesn't know. I created this book to help you understand the divorce process without getting lost or without getting a heart attack. You can buy it on Amazon in all formats, including audio format. And in that book, I say you got to have your team. And one of the team members is to have a person, mental health professional, who can help you to go through this. You're not alone.
And Jan, I would like briefly to add, I feel a lot of compassion and empathy. I'm a very empathetic person towards people who are going through divorce. And what I forgot to mention, what is extremely important to feel better is to surround yourself with people, family members, friends, even to choose a lawyer who is compassionate and empathetic, because you will be dealing with your lawyers for some time. And what I sense about you, Diana, you are very kind, very empathetic and compassionate, and it's very important, what I believe, for your clients.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think we have a long enough video. So thank you everyone for watching, and you know how to reach me, and I will link Dr. Olga's website in the description, and we will see you soon in our either next video or consultation or session. Bye.
Bye.